Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Darrell with the Black Community Advancement Project, BCAP for short. And I was speaking to one of my board members about this epidemic that's going on right now, a pandemic that's going on right now with this coronavirus. And I wanted to make it relate to our financial situations. Obviously, I made a video a few days ago about how a lot of people are out of jobs right now, and they're being hit really hard. And we don't want to see, in the concise version, we don't want to see this continuing to happen for our people. A lot of people who relied on their jobs, relied on that paycheck to pay those bills, who were living check to check, are significantly struggling right now, and even more so because of the prices for everything have gone up. And as far as like food, toilet paper and stuff like that, all that stuff is up right now because of the supply and demand curve that happens when these epidemics and pandemics and so on and so forth happen in our economy. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this to you is because I believe that if you're watching the news, a lot of people will see that it says that the stock market has plummeted, right? It's just, all of the Dow Jones has gone down and all this stuff, whatever. But that's really not important, right? To those of us who either are small investors or never invested before, like a lot of the community that the Black Community Investment Project reaches, and are just now like being educated on what the market is and how it works and things like that. So I want to explain to y'all in a quick brief detail, but it is going to be somewhat extensive, but not too extensive, on what is really happening right now. Okay, so just to jump right into it. So yeah, the stock market has gone down. The points on the stock market has gone down. That's really only important to those people who have a lot of money invested in the stock market. You have, and even for them, it's really not significant. They lose some money, but everybody knows that it's going to go back up once the economy comes back or things, pop back to regular or go further or whatever, which usually happens every few years or so. Some people say every 10, some people say 20 years, but it happens, right? These things happen. You hear every few, oh, the stock market dropped. Oh, then, oh, it's doing great. It's doing better than it's ever done before. And then it mellows out. That's what investing is, right? Whenever talking about investing, you're investing for the long term, right? Usually 5, 10, 20-year mark. So you're not really concerned with the day-to-day ups and downs because you're invested for the long term, right? Warren Buffett says that you want to buy a company now that and we know that for those of you who don't know, Warren Buffett is considered the greatest investor of all time, best ever do it, worth billions of dollars. And he says that he wouldn't invest in a company now that he, wouldn't have for a lifetime of 20 years or something. So you know that if this information is coming from somebody that is considered the most suaviest investor, then you know that it's pretty solid information, right? So I say to you that you're not concerned with the day-to-day ups and downs of the market, right? And for those of you who do not have money in the stock market right now, this is the best time to get in, because what's happening right now is you see these 2,100 points or whatever the case is for the market being down. That is your opportunity as a first-time investor to take advantage of stocks that would not be normally at such a low price. So you're getting premium price stocks at a value price, and this is great for us because we know with the history of our country, that the market's gonna come back. It drops, crashes, comes up, mellows out, goes high, drops down. Look at any chart, it's up and down, up and down, up and down. But for the most part, it's gonna be you're gonna balance out, right? You're gonna make more money over the long term than you will losing. And the way that I'm giving you guys to be able to do that today is, especially for us, right? So, okay, just beginning, you don't have a lot of money, especially right now, money's really tight. But you do want to take advantage of these things. You don't have to go and look at the stocks that are really high priced, right? So when you see these numbers, right? I want to see if I can pull something up. When you see these numbers and you want to invest, you're like, oh man, that stock's $109 right now. You know, like if you look at Walmart or places like that, their stock's $119, $120, like a share. And that's like you spending $109 or $119 for that one little share, right? So what I advise you to look into are those companies that are on the rise. Now, everybody wants to try to find, this is a little side note, everybody wants to try to find that company that started off at 50 cents or a dollar, or, you know, in the penny stocks that I'm going to mention to you in a second. And they want to see that stock go up to that amount, you know, go up to an Amazon type prices. You know what I'm saying? You obviously want that, but that's not always the case, right? But there's still a way for you to make a lot of money, right? So if you could find these stocks that are at $1, $7, $5, $3, and they're going up, and you look at their 5-year marks, their 10-year marks, and you see that, okay, over the course of this time frame, 1 year, whatever, the stock has gone up, you know, $2, right? That's good money. That's good money. And that's something that you want to keep in mind, right? When you're researching these things. So the way that you do that is you could go to your Google search and you could look up penny stocks. And it's going to give you a bunch of different options, right? I advise you to go ahead and download the Yahoo Finance app. This will give you a brief synopsis of different companies in different in different areas, right? So you'll have like technology, like they'll have one that's like technology, and they'll have like the top 19 companies, right? For technology, or pharmaceuticals, or for whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it'll have these different genres, these different areas, and they'll give you these different companies, and you could look at them, and without having to go do a whole bunch of different research, you'll be able to see exactly what the price of the stock is right now. You'll be able to see what their if you click on they'll have a part that'll say details. And actually what I'm gonna do is look for part 2 of this video, and what I'll do is I'll actually show you guys exactly what you'll see, and then you can have an idea of exactly how it works, and I'll explain it a little bit to you. But basically, it'll tell you like the details, and you could pick and choose what it is. You know, you'll be able to see like what the revenue of the company is and what the actual earnings have been over the past few years. It'll give you recommendations on if you should buy or sell it or whatever. But those final choices obviously still have to be yours. Don't just take their word for it, but it does give you what the company's about, what they do, how, you know, and things of that nature, so that you can make an informed decision on what you want to invest your money in. So penny stocks are not always just like I said, for a penny or for, a few cents. Some of them are a couple dollars, and I particularly like to try to stay within that $10 mark, really. And if I could get a good company for like, $2 or $3 or $4, that's where I like to focus my energy at. And I do that because you can get more for your buck. So you're gonna be able to get more shares for your price. So if you, for example, have $100, right, and you're able to get a share for $1, you'll be able to get 100 shares compared to a share that's, $10, and you're only going to get 10 shares, right? That makes sense. And it goes on like that for all the different prices. So the more shares you have, the better off you are when it comes time to sell, because you may decide that with a company that you choose to go through, whether that be Robinhood, Acorns, Stash, whether you go to Merrill Lynch on their online, or any of these other broker companies. If you decide to say, okay, look, I want to, I see this company, I want to invest in it, and you research it, you put your money in, you want to put your money into it, you'll be able to say, okay, I'm gonna set a ticker on this thing so that when it gets to, say, it's at $1, right? I'm just using this as an example. Obviously, it's not always going to be. This is not always going to be the case, but this is just an example for you guys to be able to envision what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, so it's at $1, and you buy it at $1, and you buy 100 shares. So it was $1, you bought 100 shares, you spent $100, right? Boom. So now it goes up. You set a ticker so that I'll say, okay, when it hits $2, I want to sell, I don't know, 30 shares, right? You want to sell 30 shares. So you'll still have 70 shares, and and you bought, 100 of them. You still have 70, and you sold 30 of them, right? And you make that profit plus whatever you have to, you have to minus out whatever taxes or fees or whatever that you have to pay. But you made that dollar increase on that amount. And this is what a lot of the rich are doing. They buy thousands and thousands of shares, right? Hundreds of thousands of shares at these prices. They invest, money over the long term, end up being millions and millions of dollars or whatever. And so when they decide to sell something, they didn't just make $60 or $100. They're making $100,000 in one transaction, right? And you could be doing the same, but it takes time. It also works in reverse. I don't want to just give you guys the cream. I want to give you the dirt too. It does sometimes go down. Sometimes that stock drops, right? And that's okay in some instances. If you want to decide that you want to do that, you can also set that ticker so that it says, okay, if it drops below, I don't know, 50 cents, right? If it drops down to 50 cents, sell this amount of shares, right? You decide on the number. It could be the 30 again, and you say, all right, sell 30% of my shares if it drops to that number, right? Because you don't want to lose too much money, right? You don't want to lose all your money. So you can set these parameters, right? For if it goes too high, if it gets to a certain number, you want to sell, but you still want to keep some money in it. Or if it goes too low, you want to sell, but you want to keep some money in it. Or you want to sell all of them and then, try to salvage whatever money you have left and put it into a different stock. These are the options that you have available to you that a lot of people don't know about. And so I wanted to be the one to bring it to you and kind of help you guys along, because that's what the BCAP, Black Community Advancement Project, is all about. It's about advancing our people and helping us and understanding things that we may not have previously fully understood or know how the inner workings of them are. And this information can take us from you know, maybe some of us where we're at now to maybe where we really want to be at. You know what I mean? So it seems very basic, but it's very important. So again, utilize this time, right? Somebody made a lot of money. As I said beginning of this video, somebody made a lot of money when this whole pandemic started because they put money into the toilet paper. There's some people that I believe knew what was going on or what was going to be happening, and somebody had to put that information out there in the media about the toilet paper and stuff like that. And everybody started buying up all this toilet paper. So guess what? They made money because the value, the demand for that went up. So to supply that means that you're going to pay more money. And that happens. So my advice to you is to think about when this is over, right? In the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, 2 months from now, where are you going to put your money now that you might say, okay, when this is over, people are going to start buying up this stuff, or this may be in demand. You know what I'm saying? So start thinking about those simple things that we probably utilize every day, or that people are not being able to utilize now, but as soon as they're able to, they're going to run to it. And then the demand for that is then going to go up. So the supply for it is going to go up, right? Excuse me. So think about these things, and I hope that this information is beneficial to you and that you're able to utilize it to your advantage, because there is a way to see some silver lining in this situation, although it is a very unfortunate situation at this particular time. But for those of us, we know that, who are aware, we know that our people have overcome even worse situations than this. So we won't allow something like this to keep us down, right? So we're stronger than some coronavirus, and we're stronger than this government or this economy may give us credit for. But where there's a will, there's a way. Our people are resilient, and that is our strongest strength. That is our biggest superpower, is that we are a resilient people. And once we realize how much stronger we could be if we start to unify the opportunities, and the power is unfathomable, and is what some other organizations and groups of people may fear, even do fear. So we must be the ones to come together and bring each other up. And so this is just one part to a bigger picture. All right? So it's always power to the people. I love y'all. Peace.